Matchday 11 of the Champions League showed us some sweet action as always, with Real Madrid getting a 2-1 advantage ahead of their rivals Atletico Madrid. Liverpool getting the victory against PSG, where we saw Alisson Becker make 9 saves, stopping PSG from scoring a goal, even though they had 28 shots and 9 on target. And lots of actions. Barcelona again surviving against Benfica, despite having a red card for the second time at the Studio Portugal or so. I can't remember how they pronounce their stadium. But yes, match day 11 is done and match day 12 is here. And a lot of actions are coming up soon. Please forgive me, first of all, my room is a little bit new. I know you guys are used to seeing my background with one or two curtains, but today is a different operation where it's not the same room. So it's going to be just going to be echoey a little bit, but I'll try to work on it later. Welcome to our FPL Manor podcast show with your host, the FPL Manor. My name is Wale. As you know, I'm your go-to guy for UCL fantasy stuffs, concerning updates, injuries, and what you need to know concerning the next game week. And I'll try and do my best to highlight all of these in 5 to 7 minutes and post on both Spotify, YouTube, and other podcast platforms you listen to. So let's get into this. So starting with my team, as I always do. Last week was another poor game week where I got 64 points in total, and it could have been more. I mean, I didn't captain Rafinha in the final day. I went with Lewandowski as I preferred. I didn't captain Adeyemi in the start. There was a point where I had Odegaard in my team and I took him out for Morgan Rogers. And as life will have it, there's a 10-point difference between both players, and it is what it is. We move on to the next week. As it stands, my current ranking is 15.2k. So we had the minor red arrow from 14.9k last week to 15.2k. Let's see how we can change those odds coming up in the next week. We have about a day and 8 hours to go. As at the time of recording, it is 10:28 a.m. on a Monday morning, West African time in Nigeria. So let's see what we can talk about our teams, look ahead of our teams, and discuss on our teams. But first things first, we have some graphics from Rob T talking about who are going to be the favorites to make it to the next round. So as you can see, these are the odds of anyone winning the Champions League contest right now. According to Rob T graphics, data from Betfair Exchange, updated as at last week, you can see that Barcelona are giving fair favorites to win the Champions League. Just 1% ahead of Liverpool, 18%, Real Madrid in 15%, Bayern 14%, and Arsenal 13%. I think Arsenal odds improved after they defeated PSV 7-1, but we all know that it might be tougher for them to move to the next round or make it through to the semis, because they have Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid to face after winning PSV. So anyways, these are the odds. I should just bring it to you guys notice that in case you're selecting your teams, you should probably pick around these teams so that you know the team players you are looking forward to having in your team. Those are the odds projections going forward. So let's look at match day 12. This is going to be very short because I have a lot of things planned for the day. I have not even started writing, as I usually tell you guys. I've started writing. I've not started writing, and basically I still need to accumulate our injury updates. So let's move on to the tips section. So what are the tips for match day 12? For match day 12, we already know results from match day 11. We already know some results from match day 11, and we know that Arsenal won PSV 7-1, setting a new away record for most goals scored away, for the biggest win away. So Arsenal made it easy for themselves in the first leg. So Aston Villa have the upper hand to move to the next round. Real Madrid have like a 1-goal advantage ahead of their rivals. Inter also have a favorite also to move on. Same thing with some other teams like Bayern as well. So if we're going to target some teams, we might not need to target more of Dortmund players. We might need to target more of maybe Arsenal players, maybe Inter players, because they are at home this time and they are going to be welcoming Feyenoord to San Siro. So I'll say Inter, Arsenal, and probably Liverpool. But before we target Liverpool, there was this news that PSV rested their entire first team on the weekend. I think it was Friday or so. Saturday they rested, I think, except barring Bakola, they rested like Dembele, the entire fullbacks. So I don't know how it's going to be in terms of attacking prowess, because I feel like Luis Enrique thinks he can still make it to the next round and surprise everyone. So I won't say target Liverpool defenders, but more of the attack, because Anfield is a tough game place to win, but it's still not impossible for them to be beaten. So let's see how it goes. So based on tips, I'll say target Inter, Arsenal, and probably Liverpool attackers just for the attack. I think Arsenal and Inter's defense are also solid, but Liverpool, more of the attackers for Liverpool. So to that regard, if I were to use my 3 transfers, please know that we don't have any wildcard again, or any, except you have your limitless. We don't have any chips that's going to be gifted to us from now to the final. So it's going to be like 3 moves, 5 moves, 3 moves, 5 moves, 5 moves next week or next time, 3 moves the second leg after. So now let's look at our transfers. So looking at my team, I don't know where I'm going to take out. Jan Sommer, for example. Jan Sommer did not play the weekend game against Zimotza that they won 3-2. So I'm not sure if he's going to start, but I'll be following up on news to see his availability. So if I'm going to use my 3 transfers, I'll try and bring in another Arsenal attacker. But that might come at the expense of Dembele in my team, or Karim Adeyemi. I'm not sure who exactly. So let me say I fit in. Let's say I take out Dembele and bring in someone like Rice. Why am I considering Rice? Okay, so according to a news I saw yesterday from Arteta himself, Arteta was talking about, Rice himself was talking about his goal against Man U in the weekend, and he said that it's an area that I want to get into. In more recent weeks, I have been making more runs. I have made more energy about making them off ball runs, and the ball been dropping to me a lot more. I have been creating a lot of chances. To get the goal today, it was a nice feeling, and I like to keep adding goals. That's what the manager wants me to play as the number 8, and my job is to create, assist, score goals. So I'm looking at, why do I read all this? I'm looking at considering either Declan Rice or Merino as one of my Arsenal extra attackers. The room for Odegaard has passed. I don't think I can get 19 points. It will be like chasing points at this point. So I'm looking forward to getting either a Nwaneri or Merino or Rice. But Rice appeal seems to be more recency bias. I don't know if I want to go for Rice. I think maybe Arsenal's makeshift forward, Mikel Merino, who also gets 1 or 2 crosses from set pieces, might get that advantage. So let's say I bring in Merino. I'm not sure who I'll drop in front, but I think I'll prefer getting in the bull this week. That's Inter striker. What is his name now? Lautaro Martinez, who is roughly almost 10% owned and got 9 points last time out against Feyenoord. And one of the players I advised picking last week. So those are like my 2 transfer moves. Unfortunately, you cannot roll because we're in the knockout stages. Your 3 moves are your 3 moves. If you don't use them, they get exhausted. So if I was going to move out a player again, probably take out a defender this time, but I'm not sure which defense I will take out from. Maybe Biesbani will go out, or maybe Kubero could go out for another defensive player. Maybe Alisson comes in. For those saves. If I'm not sure he keeps a clean sheet next time because our PSG might be hungry to score. But maybe Alisson comes in, maybe not for Kubel. I have enough money in the bank, so I'll leave that last move for like a final food for thought later that comes up. Maybe something comes up, somebody gets injured, I'll use that move on that player. So these are my prospective moves and kind of tips ahead of match day 12. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. I don't plan to waste too much time. I still have a lot of editing to do. I'm posting this later. So I hope you guys found this helpful. It's going to be a very, very short video for match day 12. And if you have any questions concerning your team, you want to reach out to me, message me at the FPL manual. In case you try messaging me and it can't go through, you can tweet at me. I'll most likely see your tweets. Post your team and let me know where you want me to come in on advice. But I think there's nothing really special here. This week is very easy on paper. I don't have any Bayern players, no Barcelona players, so maybe that final move could go to them as well. Just backtracking on my final statement, maybe I can bring in a Balde. There was the news of Balde making the most 8 dribbles last time out in match day 11. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, Balde made the most dribbles in match day 11. I want to check that stats I saw on the Champions League website or Champions League page. Balde made like the most transfer moves in match day 11. Most dribbles. Okay, I keep saying transfer moves. Sorry, most dribbles in match day 11. Yes, he had about 9 dribbles. So these are the main stats from match day 11. So maybe Balde or Balde could come in. Let me see how many recoveries he made. Because I think for defensive players, apart from the clean sheet, is those recoveries that also add. So Balde could be like a final cream to the crop there, making sure there's a different way to get points. How many points did he get last week? 7 points. So dribbles don't really make much meaning here. It's more of the recoveries. So let me see Araujo that made 10 clearances. How many points he made last week? Okay, 7 points. So anyways, I'll look for a defender that's going to give me points for recoveries. So maybe one of those defenders, maybe a Bayern defender or a personal defender could come in there. So that'll be the end of this pod, as I've said before. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you again next time in match day 13. That is the quarterfinals, the first leg. Let's see which team makes it through to the next round. Probably Arsenal, Inter make it through. Real Madrid maybe most likely make it through. There might be some differentials like Nwaneri and maybe Griezmann, who might do well this week. I'm not sure. But there are players I will consider differential picks this week for match day 12. And I think that brings us to the end of this pod. Enjoy your weeks ahead and may your arrows be green. Bye for now. Ciao.